So now, after creating the vendor, we're going to be going over the complete purchase module. So for the full workflow of purchase orders to goods received to purchase invoice to how to pay specific vendors, how to pay specific invoices, how to make the purchase returns, how to make the purchase credit notes, and the remaining stuff for the purchase module. So firstly, we're going to be creating a purchase order. Now to create a purchase order, firstly we're going to just create an item. So for example, we have created a vendor for HP PCs. So for example, we're going to create an HP PC. The SKU of the product, electronics, description, a brief description, HP PC, the selling price of the products for 600. I'm going to select the piece. Now we're not going to be selecting stock or whatever. We're just going to be selecting a warehouse. For Sharjah, the reorder 0.5, and the supplier as HP piece. I'm going to create the item. Now we're just going to put 0 as a stock quantity. So now you can see here no batch has been created. So let's go back to the purchase order page. Now here we're going to click the new purchase order, the vendor, and now for example we set here as 1, and we're going to set this according to the customer. So according to the client, you can, according to you as the user, you can set it to whatever you like. So we set to POS purchase orders, select the PO date, the delivery date you could say 28, net 30. As we set net 30 for the specific vendor, the net 30 automatically comes in, and the duty will also automatically get set. Now if it changes, the duty gets changes. I set net 30. You can choose the VAT. So for example, the usual VAT is 5%, so we can choose 5%. Now you'll have the shortcuts to create add warehouse, add vendor, add item. But as we've created all of those, we're going to create a warehouse. We're going to choose the item now. So for example, we chose Sharjah warehouse, the HP PCs, the item HP PC, and you can see in stock there's none. So what quantity you want to buy? For example, you need to buy 15, and the unit price we're buying from the vendor is, for example, 200. Now you can see the total after VAT automatically gets calculated. Now when you add it, you can see it here, the warehouse, the HPPC, the SP in the stock, quantity to buy. You can edit this according to yourself also, which changes the total value also. Now we're going to be creating it. So for example, now we create the purchase order. The purchase order gets created. Now after this, you have an option to edit the purchase order, make changes to it, make any change, expected delivery, the PO date, the due date. Obviously you cannot change the vendor that the purchase order has been created. You can add more items to it according to the whatever you prefer. You can delete the item whatever you want. Now you can even go here, click on view, and you get a PDF view. This will be customized according to you. So this is just a template, you could say, a very dummy template, you could say. Now when you click on view, you can see all the details of the specific item, as we put quantity, the unit price, the total, and everything. You also have the details, which is a software view of the purchase order. That was a PDF view. This is a software view, which has all the details, the vendor's information, the status, their order information, and whatever. Now you also have an option to download the PDF, which downloads the PDF, and you also have a share, and you can even delete the PO. Now we're going to be going over the convert to send. Now, for example, we have sent the PO to the vendor, so the status gets sent to send. Status goes to send. Now after the we've sent the PO and he's approved everything. Now we're gonna wait for the convert to items received pending. Now for example, we're waiting, and we finally receive the item. Now either we can cancel the PO or we can receive the PO. So for example, you click on received, so it goes into received status. Now you'll have an option, so obviously, to view details PDF. Now as we have received it, we are not be able to edit it. Now we're going to be converted to GRN, which automatically creates the GRN in the GRN page. So don't have to create, you just have to press three simple buttons, and you will be in the GRN page, and it will be automatically created from here to here. You also have an option to create a new GRN from here. So it's not that you have to always create the purchase order. You can create the new GRN, and you can start the workflow from here. So you have an option to start the workflow from here as well. Now here in GRN, you have the option to view details, view the PDF view of the GRN, the specific details of the GRN, what purchase order is connected to the GRN, what is the number of the GRN, what is the quality status, is it is pending, is it approved, which warehouse is it going to, which vendor name, phone, email. Now you can see the received by and inspected by column here. Now for example, we edit it and we change the received and we change this inspected to admin. Now you can see here, now we update the GRN. Now when you click on details, you can see it's received by Fathan and inspected by admin. Now you can see here all the details. Now we can credit the GRN. We can change how many items we received. We can change the unit price here and here. So this is a stage where you can change the details. Now after changing everything, you're going to inspect the item. So for example, we're going to inspect the item and we're going to see if anything is missing, anything is added, so we can accordingly add or edit the specific GRN according to the specific thing. Because now you simply have a button to reject the GRN completely. If all products are damaged, you don't want the products, you completely reject it, which in turn returns the complete products. Now for example, you've approved the products. Now for example, now you can see that in stock movements page there's no updates since we have done, and no items. You can see the items is 0 here, and even in the warehouses you can see that stock is still 6. Now for example, we approve the GRN, specific GRN, and we click to approve. Now you can see, go to stock movements page, you can see that 15 units have been added here. So you see the movement, the stock in HPPC, 15 units. You can see the details. You can see the items. You can see the items in the warehouse. For example, you click on view, you can see here specific transfer, what has happened. So HPPC, SKU, batch, GRN004. So you see here, could receive notes reference. This is stock we've added and the unit price we bought it for. So you can see the items have been changed. You can see here the batch for the specific item. You can see the batch GRN has been created. GRN004 as the reference for the code received notes, the stock remaining and the unit price of how much we bought. See the average price value as we went over this for the Dell laptop. Now we're gonna go back to the GRN page, and now we'll have a button here to either view details PDF view. Obviously after it's approved we will not be able to edit it, as we had the opportunity to edit it before. Now you just have to press a single button to convert this specific GRN into an invoice. Now when the invoice is created, it automatically takes you to the invoice page, and it automatically opens the details tab for you. Now here you can see the full details of the invoice, specific invoice, the quantity, the unit cost, the total, the subtotal, the VAT, how much ever it is. And now when we click on view, you can even see the PDF view of it, and you also have the option to edit it. Now as this was completely finished, you cannot change the GRN reference, you cannot change the items, you can only change the unit price of what you bought it for, and accordingly it gets added. So now here you have an option to convert it to pending payment, you have an option delete, edit, PDF details, view, and stuff. Now also it's not that you have to specifically create the good received and start from here. You can even create a purchase invoice. When you create an invoice here, you can select the vendor, as if for example we're not selecting a GRN reference here, you can choose the Sharjah warehouse and whatever the how much ever you're buying it for, and automatically when you create the purchase invoice it automatically gets created. Now for example, now you can choose HPPCs. Now we're going to choose the warehouse, Sharjah warehouse, HPPCs, HPPCs, and we're going to choose the quantity, how much we're buying, 5, and we're going to buy it for example this batch we're going to buy it for 100, you could say. So unit price, add item, and for example we create this invoice, it gets created and it gets shown here. Now for example we go into here, view details, you can see here there the unit cost, the total, subtotal, total after VAT. You can see the purchase order, as there's no purchase order reference here you won't be able to see here, but when you click on this thing you'll be able to see the purchase order reference as well, the invoice number and the GRN number for it. Now here, for example, now you can see that they've created a 5 stock, right? So when you go to stock movements, you can see that the 5 units were added here. See, it has been added to the warehouse as well. You can see it has been added to the items as well. Now we click on view, you can see that it's added to the bill. You can see it creates a new batch, so there's no good receipt number, but you can see the stock remaining, the unit price of the specific batch, and you can even see the recent transactions. 5 came in for the specific reference. Now if we were to go back to the purchase invoice page, now you will have an option to convert to pending payment here. When you click convert to pending payment, it goes into pending payment. Now you can see that the pending amount is 3675, and even when you go to vendors page for the specific vendor, you can see that the price is 3675. So that's much how much we have to pay to the vendor. Now here we'll go here, and for example we pay the vendor. For example, we pay around 1500, and we got the payment. And you can see the pending amount becomes 1650. When you go to pay here back, you can see the remaining amount, the 10 months total, the bank amount paying, the bank, what type of method you want to choose for payment, the payment date, and any notes connected to it. You can see as you have paid, you can see the vendor payment has been created here. Which vendor is it? Which invoice is it? Which date is it? Amount, how much amount we paid, and is it recorded? You can see all the details, and you can even see the vendors page that how much we've paid to the specific vendor. You see the total purchases. Now when you can click on this thing, you can see the total purchase, total paid, the outstanding. Now for example, go back to purchase invoice page. Now we get to know that a specific item was damaged, so we're gonna return an item. So you can see the quantity bought, the already returned, available to return, unit price, total AD, VAT, total including VAT. Now for example, we're returning about 3, you could say, and the unit price was 200, so 6. So now we create a reason, for example damaged, and we complete a return. So we're going to complete a return. You can see the pending amount has been deducted by a specific amount. When you click on details, you can see a specific purchase return was created, a specific credit note was created according to it. You see that credit note has been applied. So for example 630, so the specific items, as the vendor also will charge VAT for us, so the credit note gets applied for 630 dirhams, and total after credit note is 2520. But if we've already paid a certain amount of money, so for example we paid amount here 1500, automatically deducts from there. You can see the purchase and return has been created here, HPPC's return date, the method, what type of is it, and the total. You can see, we can click on detail, you can see the whole detail of the specific return. See, it has been 600 here, as we bought it for 600. Now when you go to purchase credit notes, you can see the purchase credit note is being created for the specific purchase return. Now when we click on this, you can see the total of the specific unit, but you can even see the VAT, total including VAT. So it's completely FTA compliant, so there's no issues with any illegal stuff or whatever has happened. It gives you a complete safe workflow. Now for example, we have to purchase invoice page, and we go to a specific, we go to now for example there's a discount. So for example, you go here, and on top of the specific return, we have also have gotten a discount from the vendor. Now you can see the already has discounted. You can see all the details here. So the item, the warehouse, specific adjustment, so quantity bought, unit price, total AD, already discounted, how much we've discounted already due to the return. So now for example we're gonna be putting in, for example 500. Get the credit note, and you can see the pending amount has been deducted again. When you click on details, you can see the what all this 2 credit notes applied to the specific invoice. So you can see the first credit note was 630 as we returned, and the specific second credit note is 500. Now when you click on it, you're going to be taken to the purchase credit note page. When you click on view, as you know, there's no return reference, as this was not a return. You can see the total excluding VAT, total including VAT, how much was applied, as that was including VAT. It automatically gets deducted properly. So when you go to purchase invoice page, you also have the option to pay. You can also apply for another return, another discount. It does not matter, how much ever you want. Now for example, we're going to pay the specific invoice. completely. So now we're going to pay cash, record payment, and the pending amount gets deleted, and you go into the paid status. Now, for example, now it goes into details. You can see the amount was total. It was completely finished. You go to the vendors page. You can see the outstanding has been cleared. And now, when you go into, for example, the purchase invoice page, now this is where we'll be going over the applying credit notes. So how you can apply the credit notes, the pending you could have seen.